Now I want to show you some of the things that go into forecasting the weather for you here in Connecticut. A little bit of a science lesson, if you will, because of course, bringing you the most accurate and most up-to-date information is the most important. I want you to see how it starts to develop throughout the day. This has been a very active weather pattern. Talking about how this was going to be a little deceiving. Your Thursday will essentially be a whiteout. As a meteorologist, the question I get asked the most is, Erica, how do you come up with your forecast? Well, in the world of weather, there are a lot of instruments we use as meteorologists and that we do have at our disposal. When it comes to computer forecast models, there are three in particular that get the most attention. The first being the Global Forecast System, or the GFS. It's also widely known in the weather community as the American model. Now, this model runs 4 times a day and gives us forecasters a forecast as far as 16 days out. Now, that's a lot of information, which means it does have its advantages and disadvantages. Since the GFS gives new forecasts every 6 hours, it certainly plays a critical role in the job of an on-air meteorologist. We're able to review each run of the GFS before a newscast and pass that new information on to you, the viewer. With that said, sometimes less is more. Computer forecast models are only as good as the amount of information that they can process and how efficiently they solve very complex mathematical equations. Now, because of the large geographical area it covers, the data, of course, is at a lower resolution, and that result can sometimes mean that the forecasts are far from perfect. Nevertheless, it's an important tool that we use often. Now, the North American Mesoscale model, or the NAM, is a higher resolution model than the GFS. It's a great tool used in forecasting severe weather and other short-term events. The NAM only gives forecasters about 3.5 days out of forecast rather than the 16 days that the GFS does. And since the NAM is a higher resolution, it's able to process more data and can actually give us a really specific forecast. The only drawback is that the NAM sometimes gives more of a dramatic forecast towards the end of its 84-hour cycle. It's more accurate inside of a 48-hour window. The European Center for Medium Range Forecasting, or the Euro, is a model run by European states, but it generates forecasts worldwide. It's a very famous model. The model runs only twice a day and is able to process much more data than the GFS. Now, the Euro system sets the standard for accuracy, with Hurricane Sandy being a prime example. The Euro was the most consistent model as Hurricane Sandy approached the United States.